Sensational. Quite simply sensational. You cannot argue with that. Newcastle United have ended their trophy drought by beating the two best sides in the country in the semi-final and then the final. The two best sides in the country this year, under no debate, are Arsenal and Liverpool. And Newcastle United have made light work of them in a semi-final and in a final. Bearing also in mind, Newcastle United knocked us out, knocked Chelsea out along the way. So Newcastle United have won silverware and they have gone about it in the hardest way possible. So deserving, because I'll be frank, I didn't give them a chance. I didn't give them a prayer today. I thought that the football heritage would come into it. I thought that Liverpool Football Club would just be too strong, too experienced, too ready, too up for it, and too full of nous and know-how, and they would make light work of Newcastle United. But fair play, because Newcastle were sublime. Think about what that club have been through. Think about how long they have had to wait. Hurt, anguish, embarrassment, humiliation, desperation are all words that belong to Newcastle United fans. For years and years, they have been ridiculed for being the nearly men. For years and years, we have laughed at them because they cannot get over the line. And now they have finally done it. They had an abstinence, an allergy to silverware. But now things are different. This is it, you get these moments in football and everything changes. When Sheikh Mansour arrived at Manchester City, everything changed. When Roman Abramovich came into Chelsea, when Ken Bates sold the club, when Glenn Hoddle arrived at Chelsea before that, everything changed. You get these seminal moments in football, and Newcastle United could use this and never look back. To borrow a phrase from Suggs at Chelsea, now the wait is over. They have been waiting for 56 years to win silverware. And they haven't won any domestic silverware. That was the Fairs Cup, by the way. They haven't won any domestic silverware for about 70 years. 70 years. Like, that's closer to the Victorian era than it is to today. Like, that was before anyone landed on the moon. Like, that's how long ago it was. That's how long Newcastle United have had to wait. There is an entire generation of Newcastle fans that never saw their team win a trophy. But now they have done it, and they totally and utterly deserved it. I mean, all the way through the competition, they have been brilliant. I mean, the way that they won the semi-final, that should have been the indicator, That should have been the indicator to people like me who were full of doubt about what Newcastle United would be capable of. That was the indicator. That was the moment that we should have all had an inkling that they were capable of winning. And I'm sure you did. I know you know more about football, of course. But I just didn't think they would get the job done. I really didn't. But looking back now, the clues were there. They dispatched of Arsenal over those two legs so easily. 2-0 win at home, 2-0 win away. When you beat someone home and away, it's a statement. And you need to be taken very seriously. And doing that to Arsenal, Arsenal have a very proud record at home. And Arsenal are totally capable of going up there and winning as well. 2-0 at home, 2-0 away. It's professional. It's clinical. It's the behaviour of a team that will win the silverware. It's the behaviour of a team that are capable of winning the silverware. And I think now, like I was saying, that we need to almost redefine who Newcastle United are. You need to see them through a different lens. They should use this victory as a catalyst to go on and win more silverware. I remember going to Old Trafford. Not that long ago, and there was a ticker for how long it had been, how many years it had been that Manchester City hadn't won any silverware. In the era that I was born, Chelsea went 25 years without winning any silverware. Manchester City went 30 years without winning a silverware. So long, in fact, that there was a ticker. There is currently a ticker on the Kop, isn't there, about how long it's been for Everton? In the Kop, there's that big banner that says 1995. That is a homage to the Paul Rideout goal that was scored for Everton in the FA Cup final against Manchester United the last time they won any silverware. Teams go for this long amount of time, and then something can change. Like, Chelsea didn't win any silverware between 1971 and 1997. And basically, since then, we haven't stopped winning silverware until now. But you get the point, right? You think about Man City. There was a ticker in the Stretford end, how long it had been. That ticker has come down because since then, they have won a fair share of trophies. And therefore, today, it is historic. Like, we need to start seeing them in a different way. They are capable now, Newcastle, because they have the squad, they have the support, they have the stadium, they have the ambitious owners, but most importantly, they have the manager. I think today, look, we can talk about Dan Burn, and we certainly will. We can talk about the Newcastle United support. We can talk about the glorious finish from Alexander Isak, Livramento, Kieran Trippier lifting it aloft. Like, there's loads. But, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think the day belongs to Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe could easily have a statue built alongside Alan Shearer and Jackie Milburn. It's that level of impressiveness from Eddie Howe. It's that level of contribution to the city of Newcastle and what it represents. Because what he has done is potentially changed that club forever. And think about how long it has been. Like, he is clearly the English manager of a generation. He's clearly the best English manager around at the moment. He's clearly capable of winning silverware and more silverware. He's clearly capable of doing it at the very top level. You know, there hasn't been an English manager of this competition that's won this competition since Harry Redknapp, '08, Jonathan Woodgate, and all that. Like, it was ages ago, right? What was Redknapp? Redknapp was the FA Cup. Sorry, Redknapp '08 was the FA Cup. Wasn't even that, because that was Juan de Ramos. It was the FA Cup that same year. The Portsmouth team that won the FA Cup. Oh my God. So when was the last time an English manager won this competition? It wasn't even this competition. I thought that was the last. I was trying to think of the last time an English manager won this competition. Oh gosh. I honestly can't remember. Like, Borough won it, didn't they? Would it be that? Would it be Steve McLaren? That's got to be 25 years ago. So that is what Eddie Howe has done. Like, truly brilliant. And to have done it to Liverpool. To have done it to Arne Slot. Like, Arne Slot, best manager in the league at the moment, no doubt. Liverpool, best team in the league, no doubt. Liverpool, a team well-versed at winning at Wembley. Anfield South. I mean, what a bad week for them. What a bad week. Launched out of 2 trophies in a week. You know, launched out of the European Cup, dismantled fairly easily by Paris Saint-Germain. Launched out of the League Cup, dismantled fairly easily by Newcastle United. Like, that's 2 trophies slipping away in the space of a week. And look, don't get me wrong, I still believe that Liverpool have had an amazing year. I still believe that Liverpool fans will be over the moon with the season that they've had. Any season when you win your domestic league has to be seen as being a hugely successful season. But something's happened. They couldn't cope with Newcastle. They couldn't cope with Paris Saint-Germain. I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know if it's exhaustion. I don't know if it's that other managers have worked out the slot system. I don't know what it is. But Newcastle, they sort of overwhelmed Liverpool. They didn't really know what way to turn. And you could see that there was a sort of desperation in Liverpool. They didn't really have an answer. And then you look to the magic men, don't you? You look for the likes of Mohamed Salah to turn up and spare your blushes, save you, do the spectacular, achieve the impossible. And he just didn't. Like, he wasn't involved. Like, he didn't create anything. Liverpool had no attacking threat. And, you know, even when they got that goal back, you thought, oh, is there a way here where they could get something out of the game? It never really felt tangible. It never really felt possible. And it felt to me that nobody really wanted to win within the Liverpool team the way that they did in the Newcastle team. Like, you look at Dan Burn, look at the way that Dan Burn reacted, look at the way that he scored that goal. Like, what was Alexis McAllister doing? Like, Alexis McAllister is not looking at the ball at all. He's only preoccupied by the man. So the man's obviously going to get a head start on him because McAllister doesn't know when the ball's coming. He doesn't know when it's kicked. So McAllister has to wait, watch Dan Burn make his run, and then try and react to it, rather than seeing the ball kicked and moving at the same time. It was a really odd way to defend, and it was just, I mean, it's just so poetic that Dan Burn, born in Blythe, isn't he? He's like a Blythe Spartan, scoring a goal for Newcastle United in a final like that. I mean, it is just beautiful. And he got called up for England as well, didn't he, this week? So it's a massive week for him, absolutely huge. And then, obviously, the Isak goal. I mean, it really was amazing, wasn't it? It was truly, truly brilliant. And Alexander Isak I think he's borderline world-class. I think he is capable of becoming a world-class player. And if Newcastle United make it into the Champions League, which I think they will use today, winning silverware is infectious. You get really greedy. Like, you know, when I talk to some of my mates who are QPR fans, they've never seen their team win anything. They go, oh, just do anything for one FA Cup, just do anything for one League Cup. And what I always try and explain to them is it isn't true. You think that, but it whets your appetite. It makes you hungry. You want more. You become very greedy. The second that you see your team win silverware, you don't go, oh, that was amazing. Confine it to the ash heap of history and just, like, think about it. You go, oh, my God, it's almost intoxicating. It's addictive. You go, oh, my God, we've got to do that again. And I think that Newcastle United are going to do that. They're going to win today, feel the feeling, feel the buzz, feel the heroism, you know, become icons, and they're going to want to do it again. And I think now that they will use today as a way to redefine themselves. They've outplayed Liverpool in a final. Of course they're capable of qualifying for the Champions League. And they will look at their team and they will go, of course they are capable of competing with any team in the Champions League. You know, they bought the physicality and they just brought too much to Liverpool. If you can do it to Liverpool, if you can overwhelm Liverpool, you can do it to anyone. They were knocking on the door constantly. 17 shots. 17 shots versus 7. If you can do that to Liverpool in a final, you can do it to anybody. So I think that they will be looking at today and looking at the fact that the trophy drought has come to an end. They will be thinking, right, it's time for more. It's time to go bigger. And they have the owners that can do it. You know, you heard Bruno Guimaraes. Did you hear what he said in his interview after the game? He went, "This is the best day of my life." He spoke about Newcastle as his second home. And he said that he loves being a part of a team making history. There's now no reason for him to leave. Whenever anybody has spoken about Bruno Guimaraes leaving, for example, Guimaraes to Man City was a thing, wasn't it? Loads of people were talking about that. Why would he go there now? You know, what can he get at Man City that he can't necessarily get at Newcastle? If Newcastle are winning trophies, if Newcastle are qualifying for the Champions League, why on earth would he need to leave? And if he stays, suddenly Alexander Isak goes, maybe we'll stay. Suddenly other players who are being linked with big moves, they start considering Newcastle. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think Newcastle would be able to do it. I thought Liverpool were going to make light work of it. Eddie Howe, the day belongs to you. I salute you, sir. And I think it's a real shame that he wasn't interviewed for England. But England's loss is undoubtedly Newcastle's gain. Congratulations to Newcastle. I thought their fans were amazing, loud, constant. And, you know, my wife's a Geordie, so I have to be kind here, don't I? An amazing victory for them. Really, really is. And look, they're a big club and their fans do deserve it. The Champions League awaits now, and who knows what the future holds. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing what you have to say in a bit.